Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you the second volume or second day of Shopmas. Got a little behind this week. Things really took me for a loop. Nothing bad happened or anything like that, but things got a little bit hectic. So today I bring you one of my favorite holiday recipes and a drink that I like to make every year. It's not an alcoholic drink. I don't really drink alcohol. So it's just a fun drink, and I actually drink the drink all throughout the winter time, but I start at Christmas time. And I don't really have a name for the drink, but I do have a name for the other recipe. So if you're new to my channel, during the month of December, I bring you something that I call Shopmas. This is the third or fourth year that I've done it, and I just bring Christmas content, stocking stuffers, gift ideas, recipes. I haven't done any crafts yet, but I might throw in a craft, or you just never know. So anyways, let's take a look at the recipe. So this is everything you're going to need for the peanut butter bars. You just need a 13 by 9 pan. You need some eggs. You need this whole bag of chocolate chips, these 2 packages of peanut butter bars, some oil, and some water. And it's actually really, really simple. That's why I want to share it with you. So the other recipe that I am making, this is a recipe that a friend of my mom's made and would bring over when I was a kid, and I made it ever since as an adult because I just love it so much. So all you need is raspberry zinger tea bags and a 2-liter of 7-Up. So the first thing we're going to start out is with our mixer here, and we are going to be using 2 packages of Betty Crocker peanut butter cookie mix, and you want the 1 pound, 1.5 ounce packages. So this is a recipe that my mom would make as a kid. She would always make peanut butter bars every year for Christmas, but she would make it much more from scratch, if you want to say it that way. She would make it, everything from scratch. Then over time, the recipe was lost. So I searched high and low forever to find a dupe recipe, and I come across this recipe, and I made it, and it tasted just like my mom's recipe. So it's been a dupe basically ever since. Next, you take 2 eggs. And I could never remember correctly, but this recipe, these ingredients with the eggs and the oil, is basically the recipe that's on the back of the cookie mix. 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of oil, and a tablespoon of water. And since we're just basically doubling the recipe, I'm getting 2 tablespoons of water now. Then the next thing you need is some vegetable oil. I use this little thing here that I got from Big Lots, and it basically has up to 10 tablespoons of measurements. This thing literally was $1 or $2 at Big Lots, so it's amazing. And I know that might seem like a lot of oil, but we are doubling the recipe, and the recipe on the back of this package is 3 tablespoons of oil. And now we just mix it. And just depending on your preference, you might want to use the dough hook instead, but I just use this and it mixes it up totally fine. You don't really need to do a whole lot of mixing with it, but I do a good amount. So then we take our pan here. I use a glass pan. I don't like baking with metal pans, and even though you probably don't need it, I'm doing this for safe measure because I hate when things get stuck to pans. But I just do a teeny bit just because I don't want it to stick. And there's tons of oil in here, and it most likely won't stick, but it's good measure. So basically you take out, and I'm gonna need a spoon for this because this spatula ain't cutting it. I'm gonna need to take this out and put it on the pan, and it's gonna go out like a ball of dough. Then you take it and you spread it out. Now, if you want thicker bars, I'm sure you could put it in a smaller pan, but these actually get pretty good and thick. And I basically just spread it out with my hands. Make sure the edges are good and flat because you're basically making cookie bars with this. Obviously you are because it's peanut butter bars. but they're not peanut butter cookie bars, but you get the drift. And that's all you do. Then you put it in the oven for 15 to 18 minutes for 350 degrees, and then we'll be right back and I'll show you how to finish these off. And next we have the drink. I don't ever have a name for this drink. I have drank this for 20 years, almost 30 years, and I don't have a name for it. So I need a name for this. In the comments, that would be great if we could come up with a name for this. So we're gonna take 7-Up, a 2-liter. Now I haven't tried this with Sprite, and I should try it with Sprite because Sprite, it would be a little sweeter. But this is what I do to make it easier. So I open this up and then I take a little and I pour it out. You can drink it, you can do what you want. But I just pour out just a tiny bit, just to get a little room here, because when you put in the tea bags, it will fizz a little. So you're gonna open this up, if you can see it, you're gonna open this up and you're gonna take out 4 tea bags. And these tea bags are stuck together, so you wanna rip them apart. I kind of fold it up and stick it down in there. And as you can see, it's gonna fizz a little. I let it do quite a bit of fizzing after I stick all the tea bags in there. And that's all. That's basically it. So I let it do a little bit of fizzing. Sometimes I might take a straw or something just to kind of poke them down in there if they're not in there very well. But there's the fizzing that I was expecting. So as you can see, it's already starting to color up the 7-Up. I don't know if you can tell or not, but you're gonna let it fizz for a little bit and then you're gonna put the top on it. And then you're gonna put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours. I tasted this at 12 hours and it did not taste very good. But I waited the another 12 hours, so a full 24 hours, and it was perfect. So we're gonna put the top on there and we're gonna stick it in the fridge so that you don't have to wait the 24 hours to see. I made a batch of this about 3 or 4 days ago, and here it is already. There's not much left because we've already drank it. Everyone loves it here, even my picky eater. So this is what it looks like. And it is crisp, it is cool, it is just the right sweetness. I love it around the holidays. I love it in the winter time. As you can see, that's what it looks like. Oh, so good. But now that I've mentioned it, I want to try it with Sprite. So I make this around the holidays and it's definitely a hit. So I had to adjust the time a little bit. So after 15 minutes, they were raw still. Then I waited another 10 minutes. They were starting to cook, but they were still not great. Then I changed the temperature to 400, cooked them another 10 minutes, and now they're perfect. So I would cook them around 45 minutes at 350 degrees. So the last step we're gonna do is we're gonna put the topping on it. So this is what I do to make it easy, because I like easy. So I leave the temperature on the oven. I just leave the oven on, and I take my chocolate chips. You can do 12 ounces, you can do 24 ounces. I like a little more chocolate with the amount of peanut butter that there is, so that's why I do 24 ounces. But if you just want a thin layer, just do 12 ounces, but this is what I use. Like my mom used to do the double boiling method with the chocolate chips to melt them, and she used to put peanut butter chips on here as well, but I like it just like this. So you pour all those chocolate chips on there, and you just spread them all throughout. And they're already melting. So basically what this is going to do is just going to gently melt them, and then I'm just going to kind of spread them out as they melt, and it'll make a nice crust. So basically what I was doing is I was just spreading it around because they're almost completely melted. And I just keep doing this and let it sit on the counter, or on the stove, I'm sorry, on the stove until all the chips are melted and that everything is covered with a good layer. And there you have peanut butter bars. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. As long as it's not too hot, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to harden and solidify and cool this down. So that is everything, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy your December and have a great holiday. So I will see you guys later. Bye. And for the drink, you basically just need a 2 liter of 7-Up. I haven't tried it with Sprite yet, but I bet you it'd be pretty good if you didn't like it so bitter. That doesn't sound right. But so that you don't have to wait the 24 hours, you can see the results now because I've already made one. So that you can see the results, I have already made one, and I'll pour it out for you and show you. So you don't have to wait the 24 hours. I made The other recipe that I am making is, why is my camera doing that?